Good day, boaters. Keith McGowan here. I am the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Today, we're going to continue on with our lower unit repair for our Evinrude 150 XP engine, 1988, very clean motor, and we're going to get this sealed up good for Zach. Don't forget my used outboard motor buying guides for sale on Amazon for $20. Remember, it is not an in-depth guide, but a grab and go, the details you need that can save you thousands. Still offering, if you send me an email at keith@outboarddad.com, a free half-hour session over the phone to help you with a motor you're working on or a motor or a boat you're looking to buy. Today, we're going to continue on. We're going to get the seals in the bearing carriers, but first we're going to clean this up and then clean up the lower unit itself, everything. If you remember, all the little bearings started to come out, and one of them we found down in the lower unit. So after I did a little more research, talked to an old Evinrude buddy of mine that I've known for many years, he said, yeah, those things fall out all the time on the 80s motors, that they're not locked in like some of the newer ones are, and you have to take some white lithium and you got to put it in there and make sure they're all in there when you put that drive shaft down, right? It makes sense. So that's what we're going to do. I'm happy to hear we don't have to get a new bearing. Nothing is damaged on the bearings at all, so that'll be good. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up here. I'm going to take my scraper and we're going to clean up all this gasket stuff on the shift shaft cover here and where the water pump goes, because we got new ones that come with the kit. And this I'm going to leave on. Someone put a little silicone on it. No reason to. I'll probably trim some of the stuff out of here that they went a little crazy on, because they got a little too much in here. But if it's holding there and it's not going here, it's one less thing I have to deal with when I'm putting this lower unit back up. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show, because a couple of you have asked, how did I connect the shift shaft, or how did I disconnect it? And I'm also going to get better, you guys, and I appreciate your feedback. I really appreciate your comments. Please keep them coming. You guys are not just saying good things, but you're also telling me things I need to change. If you notice, I have my camera a little bit closer now for what I'm doing. I'm going to try and make sure I'm focusing on my camera angles a little more to help you guys see more of what I'm doing. So I'm not going crazy with this scraping. I don't always like to scrape off, all the paint. I'd like to get it clean, but still leave some of the paint on it, because that's actually a little corrosion resistance, and get it cleaned up that way. Maybe I'll use a little Scotch-Brite on this and get this cleaned up. And then once we get this cleaned up, I'll put a little emery inside here where our bearing carrier goes, just to clean it up to make sure it's good. Then we're going to clean this all up in the parts washer, and then we'll start putting parts back together on this. All right, we got this nice and clean. I had to do a little bit of sanding because there was some rough stuff on here, but try not to take off too much of that original paint that was on there, because it acts as a rust inhibitor or corrosion inhibitor, not rust, because it's aluminum. So now we have it nice and clean. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some white lithium, pack it in that bearing. I'm going to get the camera down in there first so I can show you where the bearing is, and then I'll just put them in one by one. I'll do my best to film it as best I can. So here are the bearings. If you remember, we found one of them in the bottom of the gear case. All right, so as you can see down inside here, you can see the bearing carrier. I'm going to try and use a little magnet pointer here, because the magnet will stick to the bearing carrier, of course, right, because it's steel. So you see the carrier, and all of our bearings go down around inside here. So I'm going to pack this with lithium grease, and I'm going to put all my bearings in one by one so they stay in place. So I have my light in there as best I can. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. You can see, whoops, you can see my fingers in there where I'm going to put those new bearings in. But first I'm going to pack this with some white lithium. Let's see if I can do this and hold the light at the same time. So I'm just packing this with the white lithium all the way around. This way I can get my bearings to stick in there. Now I'm going to grab a bearing. And I'm going to put these in one by one. Probably do two at a time, but now the first time Zach goes to change his oil, he's obviously going to see a bunch of what's going to look like milkiness, but it'll actually be this white lithium mixing with his oil. think we're all in where we need to be. Just going to kind of feel around with my finger. So as you can imagine, it's kind of a tight fit to get all of those bearings in there. And the last one is still cocked a little bit and it's a tight fit. So what I'm going to do is, and this is not something because I have to look from up top with my flashlight, so I can't get the camera down in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a socket and put it in there and kind of roll it around and line them up as best I can. So once we get that done, then we can go ahead and put our first our drive gears in, and then we can make sure our shift shaft is lined up properly. Then we can put our forward gear, reverse gear in. Then we can put our drive shaft in. Now I went to put the drive shaft in and it's not lining up because those bearings aren't lined up yet. So it's so much white lithium around there, it's hard for me to look down with the camera on at the same time, so I'm going to apologize for that. But at least you get what I mean, all those needle bearings in there. There's one or two that are kind of cocked, so I just need to get them all lined up where they need to be with that socket, and then we'll be able to start reassembling this. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and we'll look forward to seeing you out on the water. Have a great day.